Hello, welcome to Spring Everyday. Starting from this video, I'm going to create a complete Spring Boot project to hold the website, the controllers, services, and the data persistence together in one project. And thanks for the suggestion from Dana Boyna. So this is a complete Spring Boot project. Going to do everything and create a full function web application. So what this project will do, this project will do a forum-like web forum. So user can post a topic, and then users can post comments, and then after the comments they can post comments, so on and on. So this is what the web user interface will look like. So in this portion is the topic or comments, and this portion is all the comments and follow-up and comments, things like that. So this is a relatively simple but good enough for us to demonstrate how Spring Boot can create a web application like that. And second, we talk about the Spring Mvc Architect. So Spring Mvc Architect, the V stands for the view. So in Spring we use Thymeleaf, and the C stands for controller. There is a controller component in Spring Boot, and M stands for model, and we have a service for the model. And then between the service and the database, we have a layer called JPA. So this layer, sometimes people call it a D, like data. Sometimes people call it a extended model. So together we will sometimes call service and JPA together is a M. So this is the MVC architect of Spring Boot. Since we don't Spring Boot, what Spring Boot don't give you is a database. Of course, there are embedded database, but for quite amount of real cases, you don't use the embedded database. You would rather use a real service or server database. In our case, in this project, we're going to use MySQL. So before you can follow me for this project, you would need to install MySQL community server and create a database and create a user for this purpose, and we will talk about that later. So this is the architect, and this is what we want to achieve. So now let's get started from the Spring Initializer. So Spring Initializer, we would create a moving project, and we select 2.4, select Java, and in this organization, I would put Spring Everyday, and this is the forum. So let's do it forum. And we package as Java, and we pick up Java 14. So what we need to have is this one. This is all like the development. We pick up Spring Web. Then we need to pick up Thymeleaf, which is the template engine. As just mentioned, this is the UI. The website part is the Thymeleaf, and then we need to pick up down. Yeah, so we need to pick up JDA. This is the SQL part, which connects the service to the outside database. And then we need to pick up a driver, which is my SQL driver. Yeah, so we need to pick up my SQL driver, and that's all for now. And we pick up the folder to hold this project. As always, we create a workspaces folder and hold all the projects, and we generate. After it generates, we add it to this workspace. If you don't have idea what workspace is and how workspace is going to help you, please watch one of my video. I'm talking about how to join projects into one workspace and how the workspace would benefit you for creating or work on your projects. So this is the forum project we just created, and this is the project, the only project we're going to work on to give you the full web application. So we now can close this file. And the first thing, let's example what we have for the dependence. Okay, so we have a JPA, we have Thymeleaf, and we have the web component, and this is the kind of like a runtime dependence. So it's not for your for the in package. So for now, that's it. And let's change the description so we can give it a better idea. So this is the Spring Everyday Forum. Okay, Spring Forum. So yes. The first thing I would like to do, it's not a must to do things, but as I said, I always recommend to replace the default application property file with the application YAML file. So if you really don't know what is YAML, and you can keep application properties, but YAML will give you some benefit. So if you don't mind to learn a little bit of YAML format, just give it a try. So the first thing is we need to change the server .port to another port, because we have been using the whole workspace and everybody is using the port. So we have to find another port. For me, I know this port is available for me. Okay. And then we will need to define a database. As I just said, external database has to be up and running, and we have to connect to the database with a valid user. So define a database is Spring data source. Give me a second. I may as well just copy it, and so that I don't have to tap so much, but I'll explain to you what it means. Sorry, I clicked the wrong. So yeah, that should be the one. So yeah, then. So I'll keep it 3. So this is called the externalize the configuration. So we define the URL, username, and password in the environment. So the environment, because when you deploy this application to another server, or for example, not of enterprise, they will do a dev environment, and then do a QA environment, and then they do a user acceptance environment, and then do the production environment. And for all the environment, the database is different. So you may as well make it externalized, so that you can change environment by environment. To know what the definition is, you can go to a terminal and echo, for example, the forum db URL. So you can see this is the DB URL. So we have a localhost MySQL server, and we create a database called forum. Okay, so this is what the definition is. So if you don't like to externalize the configuration, you can definitely always just define it as a plain text. For example, you can just copy this string and replace this one, and then the URL, it will work for you the same in terms of development. But externalized configuration always give you benefit, so that you can deploy it to other environment. If you're interested, let me know. I can create a video talk about why we want to externalize the configuration. Okay, so now we have everything configured, and let's save it. And then we can start. Okay, we can start the program. So let's do that. And as we just mentioned in one of my previous videos, so Spring give you a dashboard. Okay, so if you don't know how to get the dashboard, you can come here and install the Spring extension. So the Spring dashboard and Spring Initializer and Spring Boot Tools are the 3 extensions that you need for doing Spring projects. And this was mentioned in one of my previous video. You can search for that and find out how to do the extension. Okay, so now we do have the dashboard, and we have the forum. So let's run it and see what we get. Okay, so this project is running right now. You can read from the log message. First, we defined Java 14, so this is starting as Java 14. And second, you can see that it starts something like the data JPA stuff and make the connection to the MySQL database. So this is the JPA stuff is running, and then you can have the Tomcat has been started in 8083, which is the port number we defined here. And this is how you start up this project. And that's all for the first step. The next step, we will show you how to connect the Thymeleaf engine to the controller, so that you would see the first page in the browser for this application. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.